A new kind of world war has already started, but you wanted to see it on the news. It is not being fought with tanks or missiles. It's a silent war, and the first shot was fired over a metal you probably have in your pocket or on your desk right now: silver. Beijing has just made a quiet but brilliant move that could give it control over the West's entire technological future. And the most shocking part? The West hasn't even realized the war has begun. On January 1st, 2026, while the world was nursing its New Year's hangover, China's flipped a switch on the global economy. It replaced its old system for managing silver with a strict new export licensing regime. Now, this wasn't just some boring policy update. It was a strategic masterstroke. Under these new rules, only 44 large, state-approved companies can now export silver. This instantly cut out hundreds of smaller, independent exporters who were essential suppliers for industrial users all over the world. To get why this is such a seismic shift, you have to understand a critical fact about the silver market that most people miss. Here's the secret. China isn't the world's biggest silver miner. Countries like Mexico and Peru pull more raw ore out of the ground, but mining the ore is just step one. That rock has to be refined into the high-purity silver that industries actually use. And that's where China has built an invisible empire. Over the last 20 years, China strategically became the world's silver refinery. Today, it controls a staggering 60% to 70% of the entire global supply of refined silver. They import the raw stuff and export the finished, high-grade product that modern technology depends on. In 2025 alone, China exported over 4,600 tons of it. This gives Beijing a powerful choke point. By controlling the refining process, they control the usable supply. The new export licenses are simply the tool they're now using to tighten their grip, turning a market advantage into a strategic weapon. So why all this fuss over silver? Because it isn't just for jewelry anymore. More than half of all silver is now used in industry, and it's the lifeblood of every major tech revolution happening right now. It has the highest electrical conductivity of any metal, making it irreplaceable in electronics and semiconductors. The entire green energy transition runs on silver. It's a key component in solar panels, with the solar industry's demand projected to hit around 210 million ounces this year alone. Electric vehicles need it, 5G networks need it, and even advanced defense systems depend on it. This explosion in demand has created a huge problem. For the last 5 years, the world has used more silver than it produces. 2026 is on track to be the 6th straight year of this deficit. The market was already incredibly tight, and now the world's biggest refiner is squeezing the tap. The export controls are a big deal on their own, but they might only be the first part of a much bigger strategy. This is where China's other major project comes into play, the digital yuan, also known as the ECNY. While it's still mostly used inside China, Beijing has been aggressively testing the ECNY for cross-border commodity trading. And it needs to not just talk. The Shanghai Clearing House has already launched services to use the digital yuan for buying and selling bulk commodities. Now, connect the dots. China has physical control over the silver supply. What happens when they decide that those 44 licensed exporters can only accept payment in digital yuan? A Western company, whether it's a German car maker or an American solar firm, would have a tough choice. To get the silver they desperately need, they would have to get their hands on ECNY and settle the trade through a system Beijing controls completely. This would bypass the US dollar, sidestep Western sanctions, and pull the world's most strategic industries directly into China's financial orbit. This is the Silver War. It's not just about market swings, it's about a fundamental shift in global power. China has brilliantly leveraged its dominance in refining to weaponize a resource that underpins our entire modern economy. The export controls were the opening salvo. Integrating it with the ECNY could be the checkmate. While the West has been focused on other headlines, Beijing has been playing the long game. It built a system to control the physical ingredients of the future and the financial rails they're traded on. The Silver War has started, and the West is losing because it hasn't even stepped onto the battlefield. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more insights.